Hi, everyone, and welcome to Washington Live. I'm your host, Jaron Rosine. We are powered by KCTC. Today in the studio, we have our producer,
Nick. Hello. Wrong button. Hello, Nick.
Our producer is Nick Steffens.
Yes, I was taking my headphones off.
That's great. Our publisher is Matt Bryant, and I'm also joined by Connie Coleman and Aaron Almeline. We're going to be talking later about the middle school barn quilt tour. Of course, we have some other business to get to first. If you have birthday shout-outs, please put those in the chat. Or if you have a future birthday shout-out, you can send that to washialive@gmail.com. If you have advice for our content or for our guest, please throw that in the chat as we are looking for inspiration from you. And we're looking for inspiration from you. So get the information to us, like and follow so we can get the ball rolling. Police report, or let's see, what did we do this weekend before we get into the police report?
I had a not fun weekend of moving in the. I mean, at least it wasn't as hot as the other weeks, but I'm fair-skinned, we'll say, and so any sort of sun is not fun.
Yes, we are on opposite ends of that spectrum.
Yes.
I did the usual. There was the swimming and the wedding number 5, and it was delightful. Lane and Mikkel, shout out to them. I think they're straight off to their honeymoon, wedded and on the road.
My sister's in Spain on her honeymoon right now, and so I have to just sit here and be jealous.
That would be a fun trip. I know you have a wedding you mentioned.
I do, yes.
You travel far or near?
Ames, wedding in Ames, reception in Madrid, Iowa, if you've ever heard of Madrid.
I have, awesome.
Yep, my oldest daughter, Carlin, is getting married August 27th.
Well, shout out to her and congratulations.
Thank you.
That does remind me, we did miss an anniversary shout out. We have 60 years last week for Larry and Jerry DeLong. Missed that on the day, but here's a belated anniversary shout out for 60 years for those two. Yeah, it is. So police report, we kind of reviewed a little bit of these things earlier. Lots of animals and other fighting. Since our last show, there's been 97 calls for service. We had 19 in the category of traffic, 9 for animal, 7 for public service, 6 suspicious activity. We had 5 welfare checks, 5 trespass, and 5 theft in the county. So not just Washington, that's countywide stats. Highlights. Caller reports a small cow on the roadway. 9210 assisted while the animal was located and returned to the landowner.
That was like one of 3 cow situations. I only put 1 in because I thought that was
past week.
Yeah,
Yes.
I thought that was way too much cattle.
Have you ever
for
seen
one
a cow
episode.
when you were on the road, not penned?
Yes.
So did 3 other people. One of them I ran into right when I was outside, and it was Lori, the mother, telling about her boy Matt, having to swerve to avoid a large bovine, which they're not supposed to swerve for the deer. But I mean, if you hit a cow,
Oh, yeah.
That's bad.
yeah, that's not going to be good. So luckily, no accidents. Everyone paying attention on the road, which is good. Caller reports 10 to 12 people fighting in the Fairway parking lot. 104 and 109 responded. Everything was fine. It was a bus of children unloading from camp.
Probably middle schoolers.
If it's middle schoolers, they probably were fighting.
Which would be your expertise, as we well know. Shenanigans.
Party, right?
And then we have 2 reports of the owl. One on South 3rd reports an owl in the front yard of a residence. Owl flew off upon arrival. Then we had another call reporting an owl in the yard that appears to be injured with an injury to one eye that is apparent. Multiple people responded. They got closer today, but the owl flew up into a tree.
So I assume it's the same owl if it says we got closer.
And conservation has done a really good job. They've taken care of a few owls, so if they can get it, I think they can work to fix it. Have you seen an owl up close before?
I have not.
Yes.
Tell me.
I don't know. I don't like birds, but yes, the birds are,
You would remind
things
me-
that fly.
My sister, or my cousin rather, Ashley, has a bird phobia as well. It's not,
No?
it's traumatizing for her.
Yeah.
So respect that. Everyone
Things
has their
that
thing.
fly are no-go.
Yesterday, it's my buddy Eric that's super tough. He's like bodybuilder, hooah, but terrified of bees and things that fly. He was in the pool constantly. Just also, there's a bit of a phobia there. Respect that. Allergic to bees, you don't want to get stung. So, well, speaking of pool, pool weather today, 79 degrees and a little bit cloudy. This afternoon, we'll have a high of 84 with a chance of thunderstorms later today. Tonight, we're getting down to 61 degrees, which is much easier on the AC unit in my home. But right back up to 86 degrees tomorrow at night, 62 with clear skies. We are Going to cover some of these national days, and then we're going to take a break and talk about the quilts that we have Connie and Aaron here to discuss and their middle school project. Before we do, what's next on the agenda, Nick?
We have some. We have the Almanac Best Days.
Yeah, what do we have?
So it's a good day to go camping. Apparently, I don't know if that's specific to Washington. I think it might be a bit muddy if you go out now.
I think you're right.
Good day to prune to encourage growth. I thought this meant like prune as in like your fingertips. Apparently, that's what it is when you like cut back bush, like your plants and
Yes.
stuff to make them grow. Didn't know that, but now I do.
Nick just finished college. He is
Yeah, and I did not study horticulture. So, and then
What else do we have?
to straighten hair. It's a good day to straighten your hair, which
Okay.
for me is just a natural occurrence.
There are some national days as well that I've seen because it is National State Fair Food Day. So I've seen some pictures online of the state fair foods. Cheer Up the Lonely Day. International Essential Oils Day. International Town Crier Day.
Which I
Yes.
do have a funny family story. I'm like really into like genealogical research, and I found that back 500 years ago when town criers were a thing.
Yeah, so this is crier like C-R-I-E-R. So that is not like crier, right? That is like,
Yeah, like,
is that like
you
taxation?
go out and like you like ring the bell. But apparently, my ancestor, I found this in the
like
records.
Catholic.
I don't know.
Is
If it's
that-
Catholic. I think it's just like you just go out there and yell and say like the British are coming. Like
It's
yeah, but apparently my ancestor was like very meek.
friar. I'm thinking of friar.
But I think my ancestor was very meek, and so he like wasn't really like crying it. He's just like, hey. There's a war. Just like, just not really doing a good job. And so, yeah, he got fired from the town crier job.
I'm impressed with your history, though. I'm glad that
Yes.
you're doing the research.
Yeah.
In a little bit after the break, we're going to learn about the history of the barn quilts and the middle school project with Connie and Aaron. You're watching Washington Live, powered by KCTC. I'm your host, Jaron Rosine. Join us after the break.
At Ace, we're eager to assist you with all your shopping needs. Whether that be finally painting that room, getting ready for the next hunting season, or upgrading your bathroom. Whatever it may be, we'll make sure you get what you need.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Welcome back to Washington Live, powered by KCTC. I'm your host, Jaron Rosine, joined in the studio by our producer, Nick Steffens, and our guests today are Connie Coleman and Aaron Almeline, and we're going to talk about the barn quilts. Shout outs first to our mothers and friends and family that are watching. or will be. We were just talking about how to find us and how to follow Washington Live. You can like and follow and get notified when we go live. We'd love it if you did that. And then you can always watch our show later. Anytime that it works for you, you can pop on and still put stuff into the chat, things that we need to know. We will put a link to the Barn Quilt Facebook page in our chat today. Let's talk about that. For how long have you both been teaching, and how long have you been working together?
This coming year will be my 20th year teaching art.
Congratulations.
This year will be my 26th year of teaching.
And then have you both been together for that at the school, or how long have you been teaching in the same?
In Washington, I've been here. This will be my 5th year.
Yeah.
And we've been talking, you guys are project people. If you overhear something that needs to be done, I gather you do it.
We are doers, yes.
We are doers.
So how did the Barn Quilt come to be done? And it's just really taken on a life of its own. I
It
remember
has.
seeing just the very beginning, and it has just grown. So tell us about it.
So I do have to specify, because this is the mini barn quilt.
Of course, thank you for that.
So,
Yes.
no problem. We are helping raise money for the barn quilt project, or the revitalization of that. But the whole idea came about, I was in a conference for Art Educators of Iowa, and there was a teacher that did something with barn quilts in her area, and my brain just automatically clicked that we are the
We have
barn
that.
quilt capital of Iowa. That is our
Claim to fame.
slogan or claim to fame.
Well, if you're not aware, there are multiple loops that you can travel to see these full-size barn quilts, and they are wonderful, but then they need some rehabilitation and some painting, and the kids, I believe, have duplicated each one exactly. It was a talented and gifted with, who are the kids that have been doing this?
Yeah, so we initially started with our ELP,
ELP.
kids who are in the extended learning program, with the project. And then when you drive around, and initially when we started the project, Aaron and I drove this Washington County, and we took pictures of all the barn quilts we could find. We took the loops, we drove them, took pictures, and then kids got a choice as to which one they wanted to recreate. Well, then as we would drive around, we would find more.
Oh, sure.
Some that weren't on the
The original map.
original map. And so then we're like, oh my gosh, now someone's got to do this one, and someone's got to do this
So
one.
we added more kids
So
to
we
the
just-
mix?
So we just kept
So then I was
adding.
pulling kids that were very talented in art that were not necessarily on the program, but showed that talent into this project.
Well, the more the merrier. That is
Correct.
awesome. So, and I believe you've duplicated these loops, and they've been at different locations around town, and now they're going to be at the Washington County Fair. And are the loops duplicated at the fair as well? Is that what you're doing, or how is
I
it?
believe that's how we're going to do that. So the loops right now, we have a loop that goes around the Y. That is the nature loop. We have the Liberty loop that goes around Halcyon House.
Okay.
We have the Ag loop, which is around the UP campus.
Okay.
And then, which is around the square. I can't remember what it's called. Do you remember?
But those,
Amish.
the
The
Amish
Amish
loop
loop.
around the square.
Around the square.
Perfect.
Yes.
So right now, if people wanted to see it as you're watching this show, they could go to either any of those 4 locations, or the Fair Week is the 17th through the 22nd. We will be talking more about the fair with Amy Green at a upcoming show, and then with Fair Board members John and Kurt, we'll be talking about the fair activities, which this is a great one. Very affordable. You can get in for the day for $10 or the entire week for $25 to attend the fair, because there's a lot to do, this being included.
Yeah.
I was going to also give a little plug for the chamber. There are bingo boards located at the beginning of each loop, and tonight will be, or is tomorrow?
We're going
Tomorrow
to-
night, we'll be drawing the winner. That will then get.
Oh, nice.
I think there's 3 winners for $50 in chamber bucks. So those drawings, so if you go around, you listen to the QR code that is on the back of each quilt, and then you put in whoever's quilt, the student's name that made the quilt.
Oh, that is brilliant. And the QR code is super easy to use. So if you're out and about and you are looking at the quilt, on the back there's a QR code. Just open up your phone camera and hover it over the thing, and it'll pop up a message or pop up a link you can click on.
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct?
Yes.
Yes. We are of an age, but I think we are kind of land in the middle where we've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy for everyone to do. What are the funds going to? I know we're also fundraising. You have T-shirts. There's an element that's like helpful with this. It's not just about the kids and the learning. Tell me about the fundraising aspect.
Yeah, so we initially when we presented to the school board our project idea, we had like made shirts,
Like
cricketed
we made-
them,
Oh, yeah.
gray with just the white, and like we wore them one day to school, and the kids were like,
We want one.
"We want a shirt."
These kids
And
that you
I was
have are so great. We should have brought a kid on because I love their enthusiasm. Yeah.
And we were like, okay. So then we created the shirt, and then the chamber had gotten involved, and they said, well, we could sell those shirts with all the funds going to the big barn quilt revitalization. So I think when the barn quilt started on the barns, initially it was back like 2009, 2010. So some of these have been up for 10 years or more.
But how neat that some of the people, the leaders of the original movement, like Julie Mangold
Yep.
and others, I should know.
Rachel Fishback.
Thank you very much. Are now pulled back in, and I think
Yes.
you guys have been all working together, correct?
Correct.
We are, yeah. And so their money is going towards that fund to help repaint ones that have been up,
Hang them.
hang them back up and all that so that they can look nice again. Because obviously if they've been up for 10, 12 years, there are some that are very faded.
Just need a little refresh. Yeah.
Little refresh, so.
So some of the T-shirt sales goes towards that. Well, the ones that chamber is selling, all the money that
Yep.
the proceeds will be going back to the original Barn Quilt Committee. But then we also, the kind of finalization of the mini barn quilts, we have decided that we are going to auction them off.
Oh, brilliant. yeah.
So the parents did have first choice
That makes
to
sense.
buy their
That's
child.
as they should.
Yeah.
And then after that, we are going to be auctioning them.
Yeah.
The majority will probably be auctioned at the farmers market.
Perfect.
I think July, is it the 28th?
Well, and we can put that, we'll put a link again in the chat to your Facebook page. So if you're interested in knowing more about the mini barn quilt tour, there's 4 locations that you can go to right now. During the week of the fair, you can go to the fairgrounds and see them all in one spot. There'll be the ability to buy T-shirts. I'm sure if someone wanted to donate to help this very worthy cause of the mini barn quilt tour and its rehab for the countywide barn quilt tour, you can do so. And we'll put that information in the chat. I've been speaking with Karen Coleman and Aaron Almeling, and thank you for being here. They're going to stick around. We have some more fun in store. You're watching Washington Live, powered by KCTC. I'm your host, Jaron Rosine. Stick around and join us after the break.
And I'm
At Ace, we're eager to assist you with all your shopping needs. Whether that be finally painting that room, getting ready for the next hunting season, or upgrading your bathroom. Whatever it may be, we'll make sure you get what you need.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Welcome back to Washington Live, powered by KCTC. I'm your host, Jaron Rosine. I'm joined today by Connie Coleman and Aaron Almaline. I called Connie Karen at the break. I apologize.
It's all right.
There is a Karen Coleman that lives right down the way, but yeah, I
As well
can't.
as my aunt's name is Karen Cole. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, so I apologize. I'm trying to keep it together, and I don't always, but that's why the show is casual and fun.
Right.
Before we play our games, you have another shout out about how someone could purchase a quilt if they wanted to. Would you just refresh us on what you wanted to share?
Yeah, if anyone is interested in purchasing one before we do the auction, like if you see one out and it's not already snagged by a parent, we would just ask you to contact us via our Facebook page, and we will consider offers. We ask parents to give us a minimum donation for their child's quilt, so we would ask, a little bit more for that. So.
Well, and that makes
But-
sense. If there's one that's on your barn and then you'd like to have the mini version that was made to go in your home, or
Yeah.
there's just one that really speaks to you, again, that Facebook page is in the chat. You can check it out and get all of the details about the mini barn quilt tour. So we have a little bit of clickbait stuff. I think, Nick, why don't you go first
Want me
with
to-
your
okay.
shenanigans? Yeah,
I can do that. On Friday, as I was looking for things for today's show, came across this YouTuber who's actually like very popular. Like it's not like he's just like some obscure. He's a wilderness YouTuber goes by Coyote Peterson. So if his name's Coyote, you have to trust him.
Is that how that works?
Yes, and he says leaking pics here before they were taken down and before government/official tried to cease our footage. I think he means seize. Found a large primate school in British Columbia, filmed it, cut the footage, releasing on Brave Wilderness, which is his YouTube channel, this weekend. Have kept this secret for several weeks. Yes, I have the skull. It's currently in a secure location awaiting primatologist review. Absolutely unreal. We thought it was a bear skull when we found it. I can 100% guarantee it is not. The skull was found partially buried under a bunch of stuff.
Show us that picture, by the way.
And
It
so-
looks very authentic
from
my
the looks
very
of it.
vast skull knowledge.
Yeah, so they find this skull in the Pacific Northwest covered in mud. He ends this statement with, "What do you believe?" Are any of
And
you
I
guys?
believe this is a bunch of BS. Is the
But why would
deal.
he be touching it with his hands?
That's a good question.
a lot of this was. He also would have to get it back over the border, which would be illegal if it was a primate.
Because it's human remains, right?
Well, if it's a primate, since
human,
gorillas,
primate remains.
I don't know the law specifically. I took an
Again,
archaeology
we
class.
don't teach. We're all like art and like other
Right.
stuff.
But yeah, so apparently he found this. I watched the video this morning, and it was clickbait. It was like a what if scenario of what if we found a Sasquatch skull.
So it's just to get people to click on it, and it's
Yes.
not real. And yet here we are.
Here we are, and I was like kind of excited because I was like, if this on Friday when I found this, I was like, if this is a true find, even if it's not a Sasquatch and it's just like a gorilla skull in the Pacific Northwest, that'd be pretty cool.
I do respect the creativity. That's a lot of work to do.
Yeah, but it was
that.
all- so do you believe in Sasquatch or any of these other
Oh, no, I don't think so.
or any of these other creatures?
I don't. Do you?
I don't know.
I like that. You're kind of agnostic on this one. Open-minded.
Sure, maybe it's out there. I'm not going
like to-
searching for it.
Well,
I'd like to believe.
one other creepy thing that's definitely out there before we play our birthday games. So this is my morning routine is like I watch a thing, I shower, it sets on the ledge. And this was John Oliver's freaking out on it. And then we found this article in the Smithsonian by Sarah Kuda. And it's all of these creepy dolls that are washing up on the beaches of Texas. And there's a reason for it. It's a phenomenon. Can you keep clicking through and
Yeah,
show
I
a
can-
few of these more terrifying photos?
Yep.
It's because of the loop current, a warm water flow that travels up from the Caribbean into this. The word cut off, so I don't know what the word is. The Gulf, I guess. So it's this warm water flow into the Gulf. So no one knows where these dolls are coming from. That's the real question. Where, and why are they there? And also, as you can see, it's kind of creepy.
It's definitely an artist doing.
It's not artists doing, I believe it. The
Well,
reason.
could it have been a shipping container with a bunch of dolls go over and then Because wasn't there like that one of like little tiny rubber ducks that went over off the coast of like Japan or something?
Oh, and
then like
all
ended up in
landed there?
San Francisco and Seattle and Vancouver. And
I think
I hope so.
Well, and there's all of this other debris too. So they've also made good from the bad. They've done a fundraiser. They auction these dolls off. They're available. I don't think that they will be because that other guest was buying all of them. He was so disturbed by it. And this is what we mentioned. Why it's disturbing is because it's clearly unsettling.
Clearly.
And it's at cross purposes, right? Because dolls are supposed to be cute, and when they look like that, they are far from cute. We should probably take the images down. It's bothersome. Since our two segments were separate from the middle school chat and this chat, we thought it'd be okay since they're separate separate things.
Hopefully the middle schoolers turned out already.
I'm super impressed with what are the total middle schoolers that would have participated? I know I'm all over the board here, but
fine.
how many quilts?
Well, we have about 100 quilts,
About 100 quilts.
and I think
would
probably about 70.
75 to 80 kids.
Well, and that's something you never forget. And I appreciate that you took something as well that and improved upon it. I think it's really good work.
That's, yeah. One little idea became huge.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on to talk about it today. Are we ready for our birthday game?
Okay.
Let's do it.
So birthday shout outs, if you have them, you can always put those in the chat or email washialive@gmail.com. I believe this guessing game is, or this birthday game, Nick will put the person up. We will guess the age. Whoever's closest, that'll be like, we'll go for the low score for whoever keeps the years the most accurate. Our first one, Nick, who do we have?
We have Stephen Lang, who is kind of a character actor, best known for being the antagonist in the Don't Breathe horror movies, westerns, war movies.
Despite the doll thing, I am not a horror movie person at all.
I'm not a movie person at all.
Oh, so then we.
So this is like going to be really raw.
One of them's a fashionista, I think, so
Yes.
it's not all movie things.
I'm that too.
So how old do you think Stephen Lang is?
Would you like to, ladies first? Guesses? At least we have a picture to go by. What do you think?
I'm going to say 65.
I'm going to say 59.
Oh, and I will do 66.
Stephen Lang is 70. So, Darren, you were 4 off,
All right.
5.
So we're going to be close points. Aaron's going to have to catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes. So the goal is to get the lowest score, like a game.
Connie's very competitive, so be careful.
Well, and I've been getting better at this game. I'm practiced, but not perfect. Oh, my heavens.
So next up is Giorgio Armani, the fashion designer.
Well, I will go first on this one. That way you have the advantage. So I
Okay.
will just land at, I'll say 82.
I was going 89.
I'm going to say 85.
He is 87.
87. All right. I think Connie's going to take a win.
2 off, and then
87, though. It doesn't look bad.
so that's a total of. Let me do some math here.
I think I got you. A couple points for Connie, a couple more
9,
for me.
7, 13. Yes. So Connie, you win.
First place in the birthday game.
First place with a score of
Is there a
7.
prize? Is there, what's
Oh.
the,
No.
Oh, no.
just say, hey, good job? Like, you
Hey, good
won.
job.
Something I can take with me for the rest of the day?
Yes.
Just the source of pride. It might not be quite as memorable as the quilts are for the kids, but it is a fun way to end the show.
I kind of want to quiz you guys on this because I had a one if there was a tie.
Yeah, show us. What do we have?
It was John Quincy Adams, who was a former U.S. president. It was his birthday today, if he was still alive. What number president was he?
Oh, son
Oh,
of a
John
gun.
Quincy?
Yes, son of John Adams, who was the second president. So I'll give you that.
Okay, can I have a minute?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not even going to go there because she's going to get it.
Because
Because
we're
prior to the position she's in now with the ELP, she was a social.
a social
That's,
studies teacher.
that's kind of why I wanted to.
Okay, so Washington Adams.
This is-
I'm going to say 6.
Okay, do you want to take a guess? Here?
I mean, that math makes sense. I'm just using deductive reasoning and not my steel trap of a memory that I burnt off. It's a seventh president.
He is the 6th president.
Oh,
You got it right.
Shout out to social studies teachers all around the area. Our teachers today have been Connie Coleman and Aaron Almeline, as we've been talking about the mini barn quilt tour that you can see at the fair during the fair week or at one of the 4 locations that you can find out more about in the chat. You've been watching Washington Live, powered by KCTC. I'm your host, Jaron Rosine. Thanks to our guests for joining us today,
Thanks for having us.
and we'll stay tuned and we'll see you soon.